Hello friends! Some of you have seen my other videos and you know that I am very passionate about many subjects, but there is no subject that I am more passionate about. The giant historic Douglas firs of old, these huge trees that no longer exist. Why do these fascinate me? Well, there are other big trees like redwoods, but I don't find them to be nearly as beautiful as the Douglas fir. They're more weedy looking to me. The fir has such beautiful bark and such a beautiful form. Only the sequoias of the Sierras can rival it for beauty and grace. I also am just filled with nostalgia for the images of these giant trees that used to exist that I can hardly believe that they were that big. I also love the bark, just the form of these trees. The bark is so beautiful in these old firs. I'm very lucky I've befriended Micah Ewers, who is a real amateur sleuth about these giant old trees and has a great blog about it. He has researched through old newspapers over 280 Douglas firs that were over 300 feet tall. There's some that's still around, but only 10% of these 280 trees are still existing. The rest were pretty much all cut down 100 years ago, usually. The Red Creek fir is the largest Douglas fir that is still around today, and it is in Vancouver Island. It's probably going to be around 300 feet tall if it hadn't lost its top, but it now is 240 feet tall and it's 14 feet in diameter. It's a really big tree. I have a video of it at the end of my presentation, but you have to remember that the mineral tree, which I will be talking about here in a little bit, is twice the size of the Red Creek fir. These old trees were just enormous. The first tree that I want to talk about is the Lynn Valley fir. And it was north of Vancouver. It was in a valley. The Lynn Valley had a lot of huge trees. It had two trees over 400 feet tall, and this tree was 415 feet tall, 14 feet in diameter. It's the tallest tree that we know of. Now, the Lynn Valley fir, I was trying to find something to compare it to, and I thought about the Lex Luthor Drop of Doom, which is at Six Flags, but it doesn't have any really good pictures that give the perspective. So I have another picture I will show you that will give a perspective of the size of this tree. But more than that tree, the one that I would really love to see is the Mineral Creek fir. It's at Mount Rainier. It was there until like the 1920s, 30s, somewhere in there. It fell down. Most of these trees were all cut down by lumberjacks, but this tree fell. And it was famous all over the place. I mean, this was at a time when there were other really giant trees, so it wasn't completely isolated that it was this big. But people would drive on these awful roads in these hideous cars to states just to see this giant tree. It was that spectacular. So what was so great about it? Well, it was 395 feet tall, which is taller than any of the redwoods that are around today. It was 16 feet in diameter, but that doesn't give the whole picture, because if you look at these pictures that I will show you, there's one that shows its trunk going up like 100 feet, and it's still 16 feet, 100 feet up in the air. It's still that thick. And the tree at 200 feet in elevation, the height of the tree, was still 8 feet in diameter. To give you some perspective on that, if you're looking at old growth trees today, the ones that are still in existence, you really have to look hard to find a tree that is bigger than 8 feet in diameter. There are some. I've seen them 11, 12, and there's the one in Canada that's 14 feet, but there just aren't that many of the big ones left. But 8 feet at 200 feet, that's quite something or other. Now, I'm going to show you some slides and some pictures of the Mineral Creek fir. And I'm hoping that these images and this story that I'm telling you about them will inspire a sense of awe and wonder that these trees could have existed and did. It's, of course, sad that they were cut, and I went through a long period of being so angry about it. But once you let go of that, you can just sort of imagine what it must have been like to have seen them. And it's kind of romantic. I thank you so much for watching this, and stay for the slideshow, please. Thank you.